Good evening, everyone. Today is a very special day, and the topic that we have chosen for you today is also very special. Most of us have learned to live life with family, but there are some of us who circumstantially may have to live a life as a single person. It could be because of divorce, or somebody could be a widow, somebody could choose not to get married, or circumstantially also, maybe it did not work out. Normally, the tendency is all of us try to feel and think that a person who lives alone is very lonely. And we've heard this many times from all of us. All of us say it at some point or the other that I'm very lonely, or I don't know how to pass my time because I'm alone. I feel helpless. But is that true? Why don't we understand from one of our very, very popular and very, very loved and dear radical facilitator and mentor who lives alone because of circumstances when she has her daughters and her granddaughters around her, of course, not with her, around her, but she lives alone. And she lives a very fulfilling, happy, and content life. Is she alone or is she lonely? Is she happy or is she sad? Why don't we find out all this from Mamta, who is here with us? Welcome, Mamta. Thank you so much for joining us today on this platform and taking up this very, very interesting, courageous, and bold topic, I would say. And I love what you've called it, loners love, living life to the fullest. I think that itself is a big encouragement for all of us. So before I give the platform to you, let me just tell all of you a little bit about Mamta. Of course, we know her as a very, very popular and senior radical practitioner and mentor. She's also a clinical hypnotherapist, new code NLP coach, counselor in child psychology and counseling psychology, special educator, sound healing therapist, and Reiki master. Quite a bouquet you have there, Mamta. Her quest for knowledge and the perpetual question, why me? That is what kept her inspired to explore the unexplored. Mamta works as a counselor and special educator in different schools. She trains teachers to recognize children with special needs and guides students, teachers, and parents to connect with themselves and their children with radical insights. Her social media connect, we all know, is very popular on Facebook with Radical Insights and on Clubhouse, where integrating radical statements into the lives of people is her forte. She also uses radical statements with the singing bowl meditation. Apart from this, Mamta is a melodious singer, creative cook, very innovative and creative cook, and I can vouch for that. I've tasted her cooking, and a very, very hep grandma. So I think this is a fantastic bouquet to start on to understand what it means to live a life all alone. Is it a pain or is it a love that we can convert and make for ourselves? Thank you, Mamta, for joining us. The stage is yours now. Thank you so much.
Thank you and love you, Arti. Thank you so much. And hi, everyone, my many lonely and not so lonely friends. We all have felt lonely some point, and in fact, many points of the time. We have felt lonely when, in our school days, the friends did cutty, right? We have felt. If one of my best friend made cutty with me, I felt so lonely without that friend. We have felt lonely when one of the parent or both the parents were out of station, and siblings, if we had siblings, they were in their own world. We have felt lonely. We also have felt lonely when a lot of people are around us, yet we have felt lonely. So, like a mathematical equation, I like algebra. So, loneliness into bracket, this plus this plus this, the equation can go on, right? However, the popular belief is if you are with people, you are not alone. Yes, you are not alone, but you may still feel lonely. And being or staying alone, you may not feel lonely. And most of the time, we also look at the physical company, the people's company that can make us not feel lonely. But how about the metaphysical frequencies? Right? In fact, like how Aarti said, the perpetual question of why me? Being with everyone, I still felt lonely. And I didn't understand why was I feeling. There was a time when fighting not to feel lonely, I would get clingy. We all might have done this, or you might have experienced this. I don't want to feel lonely. Many times, what we also do is I'm alone and then I'm bored. And I look at my phone. Why nobody is calling me? Why my friend is not calling me? Let me see what she's doing. Let me see what he's doing. We pick up the phone and then start dialing them, just to ward off that feeling of loneliness. And how much are we fighting with our loneliness? And we all very beautifully, we say, we come alone and we go alone. Yet, knowing this, we still kind of fight it. And when I felt lonely, because I can, giving my example, both daughters married, husband there. Okay. I did feel lonely. And I do. And now, very beautifully, with Radical's help, I embrace my loneliness. I know I'm feeling lonely. And I realize I'm feeling lonely. And that when I just tell myself that I'm feeling lonely, that itself kind of brings a smile on my face because I know I have fought my loneliness all through my life. And one of my um, best friend, he had told me, best joke is when you can laugh at yourself. And when I laugh at myself, man, how much did I fight my loneliness? And that's when someone else's call comes and or message comes thanking me. I read um, your comment on Facebook Live. I went through the recording again. I went through the recording of Clubhouse, Daily Recitation, and it resonated with me so much. And I really wonder, am I lonely? Because I'm in so many people's thoughts. So how can I be lonely? And what if I'm alone? I'm lonely. My daughters also tell me, Mama, do you know how many people look forward to living like you? I said, what? Yeah. At 60, you're working, you're taking care of your body, you have a purpose in life. You are aligned to the purpose of your life. How many of you wish to live your life? The freedom that you have. You do not have to think what to wear because there are people looking at you at home, right? It's okay. And when you actually have a purpose, and I thank Aatmn for making me and all of you understand the actual reason why we are here, helping us align to the greater purpose. Somebody other day asked me, one of my mentees, ma'am, do you know the entire plan of your life? I said, I don't know. I really don't know. But now I have decided to enjoy because I know there is a lot of enjoyment um, that has been happening and that comes to our life all the time. And when we worry, we literally miss out on those enjoyments. Does that mean that um, are we in the Zen mode, Zen time all the time, like how Aatmn stays, Uma stays? I'm not. I do worry. I do worry what to wear for my work tomorrow. I do worry the maid hasn't come on time. I do worry the laundry person has not given me the clothes because I wanted to wear something and that's not there. I do worry what to eat today. I do worry have I been aligned with today's plan? So loneliness, when whether you are with people or living alone, you will definitely, all of you will definitely feel. And I know that all of you at some point have certainly felt. If anyone, including myself, if because um, at one time I would say I'm living alone, but I'm not lonely because I was still fighting. No, I feel lonely. And if I'm opening up that part of that vulnerable, lonely me in front of all of you, it's possible, it has been possible only through it. Only through all the love I get from all of you. Personally, in the open house, during daily recitation, during Facebook interaction, clubhouse interaction, during online courses. And I don't know when the layers of my loneliness, like the dried onion peeling, are falling on its own. I don't. And I always wish all of you be your best friend. And I always wish for all of you um, be with the family. And when you are with the family, feel their love. Sometimes that love may not come in the way you are expecting. Sometimes you are poked criticized, called nuts. With love. And if you don't like it, then work on yourself as to why you are inviting this love in this manner. Why can't it be all goody goody, huggy huggy? You know, work on yourself because there are lots of associations. And whenever I have seen the people living alone, like for example, I know I'm living, like you all know now, I'm living alone, and then I know Arti lives alone, Varsha lives alone. I feel there is one common oh, thank you. There is one common thing what I feel is our need to be a go-getter. The misalignment with our gender-specific role. And when that has happened, naturally, people around us have no option than to give us that experience of you go ahead and do it. They fizzle out. Because we want to do that. Either through self-reliance, either through independence, either by being a rescuer, and when that is there, naturally, you will have to live alone. So if there are things to be aligned, if you feel people don't support you the way you want them to be supportive in nature, you don't get help, the timely one. Address your need for self-reliance. Know that the moment you understand, I have an experience, I have a need to experience doing things with self-reliance. Even asking for help on your own is also a kind of self-reliance. If you have a need to do it or wanting to do things independently, you can choose which one you want to do it independently and which one or in which area you need help. And that is perfectly possible. So you can enjoy your independence in doing certain things. You can also enjoy the help from others. And if you have a need to rescue people, we can certainly take a step back, because as a radical student, you all know that rescuer creates victims, not otherwise. Because there is a need to be a rescuer, someone comes as a victim so that your need is fulfilled. And what a lovely world that we are living in. How each one in our life help us fulfill our need. Now, are we really alone? How lonely are you feeling now? Okay, so Aarti has told me you can tell them that they can ask questions, and over to you people. Um, that's right, Aarti. Yes, Navina, please tell me.
That's right.
Thank you.
Yes, Navina, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mamta. First of all, I think every word made so much of a sense. And, as the last thing which you said, that itself, raised a query in me. Like, I am in one of those persons, as you know, that is always wanting, I think now I realize that I have the need to, be the channel to help people or heal people. And it just, put an antenna on my head that, am I creating more people who are suffering, So my question is, Mamta, like, how can I balance this need of mine? Like, I want to be the channel. Probably somewhere I have that feeling that I can be that channel and still not create that unnecessary suffering for people just to meet my need. If you could help me in that.
Navina, whenever you say, I want to be the channel,
right.
you feel I'm not the channel, so I want to be the channel. Okay? Know that you are the channel. Now it's opening. It's just like how, you know the dam? The dam?
Yes.
Okay. So there are a lot of canals connected to that dam, and there are gates. They're called as sluice gates. The gates are open, and then the water flows. Channel is already there. So it's only time, you open that gate now. You are the channel. And as Aatmn has guided us, think of inspiring people to raise their consciousness. We don't need to help them.
Right.
Collectively, let's inspire each other.
Wow. Yes.
And when we inspire people, we are not the rescuer, nor we are creating any victims work. And if that person is not inspired, anyway, universe knows how to create desperation for them.
True.
So let's be those inspirers. That's it.
Wow. Thank you so much. It made so much of a sense. Thanks a lot.
Mamta, here's a very, very specific question. It's already written in the chat and it's written by me. Okay. It's more on the personal lines, that how do you pass your time in the evenings, the days when you are not online or not with your family?
Oh my God, you're asking me one of my very secret question thing, That okay. I watch K-dramas. You know, the Korean dramas. They're amazing. They're silly. They're they're very subtle, and beautiful expressions are shown very beautifully. And I'm the new fan of K-dramas, which were introduced to me by my daughters, one of the daughters. And today she doesn't watch, but I watch and then I tell them, oh, this is very nice.
Right. Yeah, K-dramas are very popular. I know that. And they are a big stress reliever because they are so clean, pure, and their presentation is very, very simple. You know, there is no complication to it. Right. So, Mamta, I have a beautiful review at the same time, a question from Paula Goel. She says, excellent presentation, Mamta. Loved it. I feel loneliness is a state of being. I used to feel very lonely at one time, but when I realized I needed to look beyond myself, I realized there are so many people with whom we connect and who are there to guide us and help us. Sometimes complete strangers come ahead and help us. And that's when my loneliness decreased.
Absolutely.
That's what she has written. Yeah.
Absolutely, Paula. Because if you observe, when we want to be with people, feeling lonely, after some time, it becomes too much. You again want to go back to that place. Be with yourself. Okay. And you realize that this is my best space, and because I'm worried that I'm lonely, I tend to go and meet with people. When I'm happy, or when we are happy with ourselves, go and meet people perfectly fine. That also works. This also works. And as you rightly said, people, with the same mindset or the same kind of energy, vibrations, they always come into your life. Like, for example, I know all of you by name. I have seen few of you in person, met few of you in person, but yet I feel I'm just sitting and then, talking to my family. And it is my family.
So true, Mamta. Completely agree with you.
Thank you, sir.
By the way, I'm in Korea. I'm in Seoul. Now that you mentioned it, and it's past it. It's 12:30 almost.
Awesome.
But I wanted to listen to you, so I said I'll stay up and I'll listen to you.
So you see, Paula, you are in the land of her favorite.
This is a Korean finger tap.
But I don't watch K-dramas, but I'll start watching that now.
Please.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure she can give you a recommendation.
Yeah.
About which ones that you should watch, Paula. Right?
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else would like to ask anything on the topic of being lonely, or not, or if there's any doubt or thought which you'd like to share about being lonely, or
Yeah.
Yes, Anita.
So, Mamta, is there like a timeline? I mean, like from the depths of, say, sadness or feeling lonely, how and when did you realize, and what made you, and how did you transform that?
Wow. Okay. I'll narrate an incident that happened when I was in school. I was in grade 6, and I don't know what had happened. I was very popular, and I would stand first in poll and studious. I don't know what happened, but then one day I just go to school in the morning as usual, and suddenly I see my friends are not talking to me, and I have no clue. Each one is, and I'm looking at them and saying hi, and then they're turning their face. I said, what happened? For almost a month, I had my tiffin alone, nobody to talk to me in the class. But then I couldn't tell people, I couldn't come and tell my mother, my father, that, my friends are not talking to me. And in fact, in our days, we never spoke with boys. Though I was in a co-ed school, we didn't speak with boys. Okay. So it was such a pain. And somewhere I was trying to bury that, that pain. And later on, our friends and my friends' parents, my parents, my friends, they were all friends also. They came to know, and then they said, what is this nonsense you are doing? Come on. You know how the parents are. It happened. But then I didn't know what to do. And then I joined a college where 100 out of 130 students, 129 boys and 1 girl. That was me. No talking again. And I'm born in a family where I was in grade 4, my sister gets married and goes away, and I was in grade 6. My brother gets a job somewhere else and then gets married and then goes away. I live alone with my parents. And it was after my marriage. I would always be with my husband. And I had kept myself so busy with the family. Oh, I have to be here. I have to be here. Not realizing that it was my need. And daughter has to go out because for her higher education, second one also. And then my husband gets a job somewhere else. He goes, and I live alone. And that's the time I kept killing. No, I live alone, but I'm not lonely. But I did feel lonely. And the soul's love recitation, Sangeeta, that my loneliness is my soul's love. My need to feel lonely. I may not know the brilliance. That's okay. But at least I know that, now I know that it is my need. And let me give it to the frequency of love. And that's how I have started now enjoying my life. I go alone shopping. I pick up what I want. I go alone for a walk. And I watch. And today only I enrolled for a flute class because I always wanted to learn flute, one instrument. And I'm most of the time I'm online and answering, messaging people and other things. Now it's not about, and I'm actually loving my space. And my daughters very well know that. In case they come, they ask, are you free this day? And then they ask, and they come. They give me my space, and it's not that, okay, I have to do this. And even when people ask me, oh, you are keeping yourself very busy, good. I said, I'm not keeping myself busy because I want to be busy. No, I'm aligned. That's why I'm busy now. There is a huge difference. People have told me, yeah, you have to keep, otherwise, idle mind is devil's workshop. I said, tell me about it. But I love my idle mind. Because suddenly, somewhere, some thought, it just masses, how they give, they just give. And it's not the devil's workshop anymore.
Light band kar do.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, Mamta.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. There are just two observations here of people, which I'll read out for you. One is from Navina, who says, I love the part that be independent in certain areas and choose areas where you be independent or be dependent. So basically, balance and not attract some challenging situation. Fair enough, Navina, you have said it correctly. And then we have Sharda. Sharda says, before knowing Redikall, loneliness used to bring tears in my eyes. And today, I embrace and look at the brilliance of loneliness because I have my space as a free bird. Beautiful, beautiful, Sharda.
Awesome.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Of course.
Yeah. So, Mamta, do you think that our culture and our belief system also leads to loneliness? Because somewhere we tell our children that don't talk to strangers, don't smile at this one, don't do this, don't do that. Whereas if you look at, so you will find Indians walking on the street, but if you don't know the person, you're not going to wave, you're not going to smile. But when you go outside the country and you go anywhere, whether you're in Korea, China, US, anywhere in Europe also, most of the places you'll find that when you're walking and you're doing anything, somebody is next to you in the lift, you will greet the person, you will smile at that person. Or even if you're walking, like today we were lost on the roads, so many people came to help us out. We were just looking at the map, people stopped and said, where do you want to go? They took us, someone even came and followed us because we were entering a wrong shop. So what I want to say is, see, these are absolute strangers, but they have no qualms in coming to somebody and trying to show them the way or helping out. So you don't feel lonely even in a strange city. But somewhere in our city, like, we are not very this thing of asking people. We have our thought processes. No, if you go to some place and you ask, it's a new place, so people will read body language and they will cheat us and take us in the wrong direction. So again, that thought and the seed is sowed in the mind. You think, like, in children, like, since you're an educator, so from childhood, if you put such thoughts in the head, I feel as a pediatrician, it sort of seeds in the mind. And that also would lead, because when you're older and you are by yourself, what can you do? You are not going to make friends at old age, or after a point. Like we say now, friendships are made in school, friendships are made only in college. You can't make friends in your 40s. So many belief systems are there. So doesn't this also come in the way of loneliness for so many people?
Well, conditions will be there. Okay, for example, there are two parts, right? One is as a caution, because people hear a lot of things, they caution that don't talk to strangers. Okay. And at the same time, also helping. You need to help. So what happens? Not everywhere everybody takes these conditions. Like, for example, I know when I was driving, there would be always someone, unknown person, helping me park the car properly, take the reverse. They would just come. Okay, even in Bangalore, I have seen that right now. However, as you said, conditions, because in the schools or when children are growing up, there is a amount of cautioning. And I feel if it is there, it is there. Ultimately, it depends on individual how much to take that. We were also conditioned. Some conditions we took, some conditions we didn't take. That's how that's a part of growing. And the today's generation seen, though people are living in a nuclear family, they are still connected to social media and other things. And earlier, if people, if there is a falls or or gets hurt on the road or on the playground, I have seen others laughing and other things, right? Here nowadays, I have seen the classmates or the people around rushing to their help, calling the ambulance. That is also there. So it depends on the individuals, how much they want to distance themselves, how much they want to be indifferent to others' things, and how much they want to feel lonely. It's individual, basically. And people are definitely open to therapies now, which earlier it wasn't. And that's literally opening another beautiful gate for everybody. Openly they come. I'm having this difficulty. And they tell also, I'm going for therapy. Like you all have seen on the social media, Deepika Padukone telling that, I went for, I had depression, I went for therapy, and, all kind of things, that they are open. And I'm sure it's more open now. If you're lonely, enjoy your loneliness, that kind of thing. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Navina, you have a question or what? Because your hand
Yeah. So two things, I'll be very quick. So one thing, Mamta, when you shared, never thought that, maybe at a time we will be lonely, but how to, actually enjoy and embrace that loneliness, that I learned from you. Definitely. I mean, thank you so much. It was a huge learning for me. And, while you were answering the previous question, something came to my mind, and correct me if I observed it right. I said, when we are open to receiving and open ourselves to receiving, then probably a lot of these conditionings and all may subside, and we will receive help, come what culture, what country or whatever, or wherever we are. That came to my mind. I don't know if I'm right or wrong in this. So
that's why Redikall always stresses on aligning to the gender specific role. Right? If you have played a go-getter, fine. I'm sure you have enjoyed that.
Yes. I mean, many antennas today, it came to my mind. I went into my own thinking, okay, where am I? And all these questions started. And I think I have to think deeply. Quite a thought-provoking session, Mamta. And thank you, Aarti, for creating this platform. And thank you so much. That's
You're welcome. Thank you, Navina, for your wonderful words. And so that was Mamta today in her element as usual. And thank you so much, Mamta, for giving such an interesting and wonderful talk. I'm sure a lot of us have felt a little more pepped up, that it's not so bad to be lonely, right? So
Absolutely.
between you and me, we know that, right? So to all of you, I'm going to open up the circle of peaceful progress. Please do write in your feedback, because it's important for us to know if you're enjoying this kind of sessions we are trying to hold. And of course, about Mamta, it'll be wonderful if you can write about it too. It'll open only for 10 minutes as usual. So please do write in your comments and your feedback. And yeah, that will be great. And see you again tomorrow with another session with another person. Thank you, Mamta, so much. And
Thank you so
see
much.
you all tomorrow again. Bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you so much, Aarti. Thank you, Apurva, for all the support, back and support. And thank you, Aatmn. Thank you, Redikall. Know that loneliness is not a curse. Loneliness has a brilliance. And let's align to that brilliance.
Brilliant.